So folks, next up is a debate. KACT took up this initiative for our kids, for the kids in our community to experiment and showcase their public speaking skills. Communication has become such a big part of life over here. We're all so proud of all of you guys for the courage that you have shown to come on stage and start speaking. The topic for today is, should smartphones be allowed in school? So that'll be the topic. One team will be speaking about, yes, it should be allowed. The other team will be saying that no, it should not be allowed. So the rules are, there's 5 participants in each team. Each person will have 2.5 minutes to make a speech voicing support for their position. After all 10 are done, there'll be a quick 5-minute break. After the break, they'll come back and there'll be formal refutation arguments by 2 people from each of the teams. So the entire debate from a timing perspective is expected to take about 45 minutes to an hour. So that's the time for the debate. So sit back, watch the kids perform, encourage the kids. Some of them are doing it for the first time. If you're going to clap for one kid, make sure you clap for every kid. Let's make it fun for the kids. Let's encourage them and cheer them. And we'll be watching the timer. So all of you kids, you just need to be conscious of the time. So 2.5 minutes. At the end of 2 minutes, 30 seconds before the bell, you'll actually have a small beep. Can you hear that? Can you do it again? Can you guys hear it? Okay. Let's just hold on before we start. We need to make sure the timer works. Do it again. Yeah. Now you can hear it. Can you do? Yes, that's perfect. Can you guys hear that? So let me just quickly introduce the participants. The affirmative debate team, which is the team that says yes, smartphones should be allowed in school, is sitting on this side. So we have Kurian. Kevin, can you just wave to them? All right, that's good. Kavitha Francis. Shyama Anand, Mohan, and Thara Francis. And then the debate team, the negative debate team, which says no, smartphones should not be allowed, is on this side, on my right over here. So Gautam Sunil, Amala Amritha Anup, Augustine, and Aishwarya Mammayil. So, good luck, and we have only one mic for you, so at the end of the speech, if you guys can just pass it on to the other person, that would be great, okay? So, we're going to start it off with the affirmative team. So, it'll be... Yeah, so, we'll get the timer started once you come in, and if you don't mind, all of you kids, if you could just introduce yourself again, just for a quick 2 seconds, that'll be great. Thank you, guys.
Hello everyone, my name is Thara Francis and I'm from South Windsor, and I strongly believe that smartphones should be allowed to be used in school. Now we live in an informational era where access to information is critical. Smartphones are essential tools that basically have the knowledge of the world at your fingertips that can be used whenever and wherever you need it. So why are smartphones not allowed in school? Why are students denied the opportunity to use this valuable tool? Well, technology is advancing, society is changing, but our rules and regulations are lagging behind. This is because the people who created these rules came from a time in which smartphones, instantaneous access to information, could not even be imagined. For example, calculators. Before they were invented, students had to do math out the long way. After they're invented, it took time, but eventually calculators were allowed to be used in school. In the same way, our rules, our school policies should reflect our advancing technology. So eventually, smartphones are going to be allowed to be used in school. So why not start today? Now some people may argue that smartphones are distractions, but they will only be distractions when you allow them to become distractions. The students who don't pay attention in class will always find a way to distract themselves, whether the smartphone is there or not. The real world is full of distractions, and the school's job is not to shield students from them, but to help them overcome these distractions. Now some may also argue that smartphones can be easily misused. Well, if we put the proper rules in place, and if teachers strictly enforce these rules, then smartphones cannot be misused. To sum it up, smartphones should definitely be allowed to be used in school because they enhance the learning experience, they prepare students for the real world with all of its distractions, and it allows students to learn to use this resource effectively. Thank you.
Well done, thank you. Ready, guys? Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Amritha Anup and I'm from Rocky Hill. Here are a few cons about using cell phones in school. Cell phones can become a major issue in school because they contribute to cheating in tests. Kids can look up answers on the internet, text their friends to give or get answers, or they can store information in their device. Children could even take a picture of a test. There are instances where kids take pictures of tests and sell them online to other students. This is very unfair. A recent survey suggests that 2/3 of students have seen others cheat in school. About 50% of these teens polled admit to cheating in school using the internet. My source for the survey is usnews.com. I don't think any parent would want to hear that their child has been cheating on tests in school using his or her smartphone. Cell phones can also be dangerous in school. If someone's cell phone makes a loud noise during a lockdown and it wasn't a drill, the intruder could hear this and it would be easier for the intruder to pinpoint where people are. The whole point of a lockdown is to stay silent and hidden so the intruder can't get to you, so this would be very unsafe. Cell phones could also encourage the spreading of misinformation or fear, unintentionally or intentionally, which almost always leads to danger or chaos. One example of this would be if students call their parents during an emergency, all the parents would probably arrive at the school before any of the safety officials. The lack of safety officials at the scene will increase the chaos, therefore making the situation that's already very bad much, much worse. I'm sure that everyone wants their children to be 100% safe while in school. These are some of the reasons why we believe that cell phones should not be allowed in school. They can be dangerous and they encourage cheating in tests. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shyama Anand and I'm from Arlington, Connecticut, and I'm here to discuss the safety issues of having phones. As you know, some of you may know, 15 years ago, a deadly school shooting occurred in which 13 innocent lives were lost and taken by 2 masked gunmen. A boy who was hiding for his life in a wooded area called 911 before the school could even contact the police. Had he not used his phone, many other innocent lives would have been lost. Also, kids nowadays seem to be in a lot of after-school activities, such as drama clubs, sports clubs, and robotics clubs. Parents can coordinate with students to make arrangements better. And the student can tell what time to pick them up and what time it ends. Also, there's a lot of bullying across the nation nowadays. You hear a lot about bullying incidents where kids are doing serious harm to themselves because of bullying. Say you were in a bathroom and a group of people were in there and they were shoving you against the wall, pushing you, and calling you names. You would use a cell phone to call your parents and reassure them that you're okay, and they would make you feel better just by with a little advice. Also, there's a lot of like fires in schools, like not fires, but like fire drills, and sometimes those fire drills occur because of a real fire. And the parents would see that on the news and they would be worried about their child. Using a cell phone would reassure them that you're okay and you don't have any burns. So I conclude that cell phones are great for our safety and our wellness. Also, I have a question to my friendly opponents. Do all of you have a cell phone? Would you be able to leave your phone at home for a week during school? I guarantee and bet that you wouldn't, and you would be calling your parents to bring it to school. I would like to see you try that one day. Thank you.
Give us 30 seconds in between so we can...
Sorry. Thank you, Shyama. Okay, we're ready for the next.
Hi everybody, I'm Amala Mammayil, and I'm here to tell you why I think cell phones shouldn't be allowed in school. Just like my teammate said, cell phones in school are very dangerous, security-wise, but there are other dangers, such as bullying. To start off, 78% of teens have phones, and suicide is the third leading cause of death among young people, resulting in about 4,400 deaths per year, according to CDC. For every young death there are more than 100 attempts to suicide. More than 14% of high school students have considered suicide, and almost 7% have attempted. Bullying is a major reason kids are driven to the thoughts of suicide, and having a cell phone makes it worse. Also, studies of Yale University say the victims of bullies are between 2 to 9 times more likely to think about committing suicide than non-victims. According to fundforcivility.org, in 80% of school shootings in the 1990s, the shooters have a history of being bullied. Just like all forms of bullying, cyberbullying causes psychological, emotional, and physical stress. I have some personal experience, even if it wasn't me as the victim. I was on Instagram one day coming home from school when I saw a friend had posted a picture of his new friend. A girl had commented on the picture. She said, "Okay, whoever thought Aiden would get a boyfriend? Seriously?" Using cell phones can also make you very antisocial. I remember sitting on the bus almost falling off the seats because I was talking to my friends. But nowadays, we sit together, but we don't talk. We just gaze at accounts on Instagram and laugh at the jokes. On News Plus Opinion, it states that 18% of Americans use their cell phones to avoid interacting with other people. We have become so attached to our electronics, it's taking over our lives. As I've pointed out, cell phones contribute to bullying and they make you very antisocial. And school is the time to make lifelong friends. So cell phones should not be allowed in school. Thank you.
Thank you, Amala. Ashley, if you could just hold for us a couple, 30 seconds, if you don't mind.
While we are waiting, all the participants, please try and keep the mic as close to your mouth as possible. There's a little feedback we are getting on the speakers. It's probably because you're holding it more like this than like this.
Thank you, Ashley.
And by the way, the feedback could also be because there is too much electronics on the stage, too many cell phones like this.
Sorry. Go ahead, Ashley. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Ashley Mohan. I'm from Manchester, Connecticut, and I'm here to discuss whether or not smartphones should be allowed in schools. I strongly believe that the usage of smartphones should be permitted in schools. With their easy internet access, a multitude of educational-friendly apps, and the ability to be used at a moment's notice, smartphones have all the tools necessary to boost student learning. First, smartphones are very helpful in gathering notes. When many students are pressed for time and taking notes, they can just take a picture of the note-filled board with their smartphones and they'd be all set. It's good because you can listen to the teacher and you won't miss your notes. You'd also have a copy of the notes with you at a moment's notice. Secondly, smartphones are very helpful in saving homework as well. Teachers can use a number of apps like Google Drive, Google Docs, iCloud, etc. to save their homework and assignments on their phones so they would have them at the click of a button. This is good because it helps maintain organization and it helps save paper. Furthermore, smartphones are they have many educational apps. There are many apps that teachers and students can use. For example, they can use the dictionaries, the sources, iCell for biology, Quizlet, digital flashcards, and Pull Everywhere for a quick group survey. The apps offer an easy way to do research, solve problems quickly, and motivate students. Furthermore, smartphones increase productivity. For example, when the calculator first came out, teachers were very hesitant to permit students to use them in class. Nowadays, almost every math class allows calculators in class because they realize the educational benefits of them. Similarly, this is just the beginning for smartphones. Maybe now people are looking at them as a distraction and a way to cheat, but eventually they will realize the educational benefit and efficiency, and they will be allowed in schools. So as you can see, smartphones are very educationally efficient and therefore should be allowed in schools. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. We're ready for you, Gautam.
Hi, my name is Gautam Sunil. I'm here to provide defense on topic, should smartphones be allowed in school? I personally believe that smartphones shouldn't be allowed in school because they are bad for your health. Researchers at the University of London found that 1/6 of cell phones are contaminated with bad bacteria. Some examples of these bacteria are E. coli and Staphylococcus aureus. More germs and bacteria will spread if phones are allowed in school because more people touch the phone. Phones strain your eyes due to their small but bright screens. Your eyes constantly need to refocus and reposition to process graphics and text on the screen. If phones are allowed in school, your eyes will strain more because you're using your phone for a longer period of time. Researchers found that people who use their phone for 10 years or more have a higher chance of developing brain tumors, leukemia, breast cancer, and changes in the nervous system. If smartphones are allowed in school, these changes will occur faster. Smartphones shouldn't be allowed in school because of their high cost. 60% children have smartphones. That means 40% children don't have smartphones. The children without smartphones are more likely to steal others so they can have one too. They are also more likely to get picked on or bullied for not having one. The children with smartphones are more likely to have social networks such as Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, or Facebook. This is because social network apps can be used on smartphones. Social network is necessary to create a peaceful society. The children that don't have a smartphone are less likely to have social network. Therefore, they have a limit in social interaction. But since it would be unfair in school for kids without a cell phone to use it, and kids with cell phones to use their phone, smartphones shouldn't be allowed in school. The main reason these 40% of kids don't have smartphones is because of their high cost. With the 2-year contracts, smartphones are around $0 to $200, while without a contract, smartphones are around $430 to $650. And there's a lot of chances that you could damage or lose your phone during school because of the new environment. You would have to spend extra money to repair it or get a new one. Bringing your phone to school can cause stealing and your family to spend extra money. As these reasons prove that smartphones shouldn't be allowed in school. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin. We can get started.
Hi. Hi, my name is Kevin Kurian, and I strongly believe that smartphone use should be permitted in schools. Today I'm going to talk about the cost benefits. So, why should schools be spending $250 on a set of textbooks that students can't even carry back and forth from home to school, when they can be spending $50 on the same books by the same people with the same content, only in ebook form on Google Play or the App Store? Also, schools should not be spending any money whatsoever on graphing calculators. They may be able to get a $150 scientific or graphing calculator from Staples, but they could get a superior graphing calculator with more options and more settings that costs nothing on Google Play or the App Store. Also, the opposite team mentioned that cost is an issue. Well, it's not. With the money we've saved, we've raised more than enough money to give each child without a smartphone. From Verizon, AT&T, or Sprint. The reason we need to give them smartphones from these carriers is because these carriers have a program that lets kids whose parents make less than $30,000 a year to have a reduced price smartphone with a virtually free data plan. So, as you can see, cost is not an issue. Also, bullying is not an issue either. Since Verizon, AT&T, and Sprint have this program, kids can walk into school with an iPhone 5S or a Samsung Galaxy and not have to worry about being picked on for being poor. So, as you can see, smartphones have no impact on the school's budget. Thank you.
Hello? Hi everybody, my name is Aishwarya. We've already discussed many of the problems that using cell phones while in school can cause, but there's more. To start off, schools have already banned cell phones because they're a distraction, but many people are forgetting this as they become more and more lenient about cell phones in school. For example, 80% of students are distracted by their phones, which isn't really surprising considering the fact that 89% of students use their phones to watch videos and play games while in school. 98% of parents give their kids phones for emergencies, but many kids are distracted when their parents text them during school hours, and it's not even for a real emergency. Teachers agree with the fact that cell phones are becoming a huge issue while in school. A math teacher, Michelle Acosta, who works at a school that allows cell phones, said that it often does distract students if they're texting somebody else during the class, and then the student ends up being concerned about a certain drama that doesn't really concern the rest of the class. Distractions from phones impacts academics, and academics should be the priority while in school. Only 1 in 25 kids shut off their electronics during homework. And schools can't control what kids do while they're at home, but they should at least try to make sure that kids are learning while in school. Despite all the problems that using cell phones can have, many teachers still believe that phones are a powerful learning tool and allow kids to use them during class. For example, my history teacher often allows us to use our phones during class to look up words or events that we don't really know a lot about. But most of my peers take advantage of this privilege and they go on their phones, look at social media sites, or play games. But when my teacher asks us, hey guys, are you guys done? Can we move on? My peers often reply with a no, saying that they need more time so they can get more time using their electronics. Also, teachers may use this as a way to occupy their students while they finish their other work they have to do, like grading papers or talking with other students individually. For these reasons, cell phones should not be allowed in school. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, I'm Kavitha Francis from South Windsor, and I strongly believe that smartphones should be allowed in schools. To begin, students are more encouraged to learn through technology. In fact, people mostly learn more effectively through interactive learning. According to whitehouse.org, 67.5% of us are visual interactive learners. For example, our kids or you yourself have used Leapfrog and other softwares to help you learn when you were little. This is because it interests us and motivates us more than textbooks. Similarly, many of you have probably heard of the website called iExcel. This is a website for kids to be at home and learn to improve upon their math and reading skills. So why not advance our nation as a whole and bring smartphones into school? Many kids are growing up learning how to use these devices. This is what they're used to. So why not let them use this as an important learning tool as they grow up? As you can see, smartphones could encourage kids to learn in a more effective, interactive, and interesting way. The second point I wanted to raise is this: portability. Textbooks are a complete waste of space. Why carry an average of 42 pounds when you could be carrying a smartphone, which is significantly less while holding more information? Kids everywhere around the world, specifically in the United States, carry around heavy backpacks with textbooks, binders, and other school supplies. Kids, when carrying so much weight on their back consistently, it could result in scoliosis and other back-related problems. According to the North American Spine Society, 42.6% of the physicians had treated kids suffering from back pains and spinal traumas caused by overloaded and heavy backpacks. Clearly, the use of smartphones in school could drastically reduce the number of kids who contract various back-related issues during the year. As one of my opponents claimed before, they said that bringing smartphones to school could cause in breaking phones or misplacing them. We not only go to school to learn math, science, English, we go to school to learn real life experiences. When are you going to learn to be mature adults, to learn how to keep this device safe? That is why we go to school, not only for academics. Therefore, schools should definitely allow smartphones.
Nice.
Thank you, Kavitha. Ready for you.
Hello? Okay. Honorable judges, worthy opponents, my name is Kevin Augustine, and my point of discussion today is how smartphones can negatively impact grades and how it can impact the registering and reproducing of information learned in class. According to the University in Phoenix, in 2010, 90% of students text during school. And when they text, they use abbreviations. Instead of saying TTYL, instead of saying talk to you later, they use the letters TTYL. And instead of saying laugh out loud, they say LOL. And instead of writing the words to, spelled T-O, and T-O-O, they just write the number 2. Because of the habits that they develop, they unknowingly use abbreviations in essays. And when they use these abbreviations, they cause a lot of grammatical and spelling mistakes. So the essay would have to get a bad grade. Students also use their phones to copy information out of the internet and into the work. This is bad for multiple reasons. The first reason is they don't put enough time into their work, and they don't pay enough attention to it too. This is only using the short-term memory. And this is extremely bad because maybe a month later when they have to take a test on the same information, they can't remember it. The only way to fix this problem is by transferring from the short-term memory to the long-term memory. This is only possible by spending more time with the work and paying more attention to your information. That is why cell phones should not be allowed in school. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So you get a 5-minute break to pull together your rebuttal argument, and then 2 people from each team. So 2 people from each team will come back out, and then they'll refute the arguments made by the other team. So we're just going to give them 5 minutes, and then they'll decide who's going to come out and refute the arguments. So just hang on. Thank you, Aishwarya.
Alright, hi everybody. Once again, I'm Aishwarya Mammayil. The opposing team has stated that carrying backpacks can be bad for your back and it's too heavy. But in this society, many kids are moving towards obesity, and it would be great exercise for them to walk around carrying their backpacks, if you don't agree. In addition, phones die, but books don't. You can take out a book, and as long as you have light, you can read it. But if your phone dies, you're gonna need a charger, and what are you gonna do then? Also, they said that cell phones can be great backups, but don't you think that your kids should learn some responsibility and not have all of these backups like Google Drive and everything? I mean, come on, like, kids these days have it too easy. Anyway, my team has stated that, the opposing team has stated that my team members would not be able to live a day without their cell phones. But my phone fell in the toilet a couple months ago, and I lived 1 week and a half without my phone. Thank you very much. Anyway, phones are very big distractions, and they say that you can monitor them and it'll be okay. But still, how can you monitor every single child? I mean, it's just going to be more and more expensive. At the end of the day, it's just going to be easier to use a cell phone. To use a book. Anyway. One more thing. They say that the cost isn't a big deal and that schools have money saved up. Where is this money coming from? Our tax dollars. Do you just want to keep on paying more and more to give more kids cell phones? And they say that kids aren't gonna be able to tease each other because they don't have cell phones. Well, when they know that another child is using like a help plan or something to make their costs cheaper, they are going to make fun of each other. That's what's going to happen, inevitably. Thank you very much.
All right, Kevin, bring us to a finish.
Ladies and gentlemen, the times they are a-changing, and some traditional folk feel like their world is a slipping away. That's what Steve Jobs said at the first ever iPhone release. Funny enough, the traditional folk had many of the same problems with the iPhone that our negative contemporaries have with smartphones being allowed in school. The iPhone was costly, a distraction, antisocial, a waste of space, and hard to use. Let me address the cost issue. If we can virtualize even half of what students use on a daily basis, we can save hundreds of thousands of dollars, thus enabling schools to buy smartphones for children who don't have them. Also, smartphones in school will not be distractions. There are apps, programs, and monitors the school can upload into their system to block out certain content such as YouTube, games, and social media. Also, smartphones in school will not make you or your child antisocial. In fact, it'll make us even more social. For example, students in school can collaborate with their peers in China to do homework together. We cannot do that when you or your parents were our age. Also, smartphones in school are not going to be a waste of space. Students nowadays can carry a whole library's worth of content in their pockets, class to class. And smartphones are not hard to use. I'd like to tell you an anecdote. When Tim Cook was staying in a ranch in Puerto Rico, an illiterate 7-year-old boy came up to him and asked if he could use his iPhone. Cook complied. The little boy was playing Angry Birds within 5 minutes. So let me ask you this. If an illiterate boy from Puerto Rico can use an iPhone like he's grown up using it, can't an educated teen from America use a smartphone that he's basically grown up using? The traditional folk need to learn to embrace change, to accept the future, and to think different. Thank you.
I think they deserve a bigger round of applause, everyone.